I am at the Eiffel Tower right now in Paris, France, home to the Zombies map we never got. What you might not know is that within Doriz there's a corkboard that features 3 images, one of a lighthouse, one of a theater, and one of the Eiffel Tower. It was always rumored that Keanu der Toten was originally slated to be the 4th DLC for World at War Zombies. Turns out though, at the Black Ops 4 community reveal, Jason Blundell explained that following the release of Doriz, there were 3 Zombies maps that his team had prototyped. They prototyped a Siberian map, a theater map, and then a Paris map. They actually had working versions of them very early in development. Now the theater map ended up being reworked into Black Ops 1 as Keanu der Toten. The Siberian map ended up being reworked into Call of the Dead. And then finally the Paris map that would be set in the Eiffel Tower. Well, what happened to it? It turned out that the reason these 3 prototype maps were cut was because their Black Ops development was in shambles. The campaign apparently needed major overhaul, and all of the resources that originally went to that prototype were moved over to the campaign. They needed all hands on deck if they were going to have it ready for when the game went live. As a result, all progress on those prototypes halted. The other 2 maps were reworked into Call of the Dead and then Keanu der Toten. This map, the map set under the Eiffel Tower and below in the Paris catacombs, believe it or not, became Moon. Last summer I did an interview with Jason Blundell and he actually explained to me how this map works. So where I'm standing right now, underneath the Eiffel Tower, was actually a teleporter. The tower itself would be a conduit for electrical energy. It would flow down the tower and it would go on to power the teleporter where I would be standing. As you're under the Eiffel Tower, zombies would be swarming you from every single direction, and during this time you just wanted to survive and hope you were teleported out. Once you were teleported out, you were in an open field. There was no cover, a few trenches and just a pack-a-punch around you, and the zombies once again are swarming in every single direction and you just had to survive. In addition to that, in this map, underneath where I'm standing would be the Paris catacombs. So you would have the teleporter right under me, right under the Eiffel Tower, and then you could explore these miles of caves. The catacombs were built in the 1800s. It was originally created as a cemetery, and there were over 200 miles of tunnels underneath my feet right now, and in those tunnels are several million Parisians who were buried. And this is where we would be playing the Zombies map. We would be exploring those caves full of the undead that would come to life to try to kill us. And you could think you could actually see it now in the map Moon. So when you're playing Moon, where I'd be standing right now is the teleporter room, that teleporting bay, and then below you, like in game, are the caves. Those caves were eventually, or originally I should say, the catacombs. It sounds pretty cool, especially when you're here, say in Paris under the Eiffel Tower. You can imagine how this works, being in this open space, having such an iconic monument around you, and the zombies everywhere. It's a crazy concept, and we never learned exactly why it ended up being shelved and eventually turned into Moon. One thought is that Treyarch wanted to go out with a bang for Black Ops 1. They didn't want to just do Paris, they wanted to go to the moon, they wanted to reach for the stars, and that could be why. There's other rumors that it was because it was too close to the release of Modern Warfare 3, where part of its campaign and multiplayer were set in Paris, and if that's the case, you could see why they don't want any confusion, and that could be why Moon or Paris became Moon eventually. Either way, it would have been a very interesting concept, and all we have left of that concept right now are just a few files in the game's code. Within the Black Ops 1 code, the map Moon is actually referred to as Zombies_Paris. This is the remnants of that original prototype. Then, in addition to that, you can also find this 3D model of the Eiffel Tower. This was originally discovered in the game's mod tools, and the only reason this could exist if it was originally a part of the Paris prototype. So that right now is all we have left of the zombie map we never got.